at the end of the day, it's all about freedom.
I will say, like the left was kind of against George Bush's wars and warrantless wiretapping and things like that and torture. And it was like, okay, so they seemed a little bit better. And it seems like the right wing has kind of improved on a lot of those issues over the last decade. Like they've gotten a little better. They're like, yeah, these wars were kind of crazy. There's less neocon support than there used to be. There's more, like, okay, there's a lot of support for closing the borders, but that's a lot better than bombing the crap out of the third world. Yeah. So there's that. And then while that's happened, the left has like abandoned the issues they were at all good on in embracing like microaggressions and this insanity.
That's bad, right? That is absolutely insanity. They haven't gotten better. I mean, I think definitely when you see some of these failures, and then I had that conversation with Trent Lott. He was saying the same thing about, he said again, when you have a conversation with people, you get them to admit things. He said in verbatim almost that, my problem with the Bush administration was that the government grew. This is a Republican. It's Trent Lott. You know what I mean? It's like the government. It's like we have a Republican in office. And you mean to tell me that the government got bigger? You know what I mean? And then he was also saying that we need to get away from policing the world and stuff like that. Like, again, like they're getting better. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say they are even on the issue of even like marijuana and stuff like that. If you talk to some of these people like Dana Loesch and some of these conservative, not just Dana, you know what I mean, but a lot of people, you know what I mean, they aren't really like, it's like, whatever. You know what I mean? It's not like, you want to smoke a little, like, Clark was saying that on the deal, like, you want to smoke a little, that's your business. You know what I mean? And Trent Lott said it in an interview as well. So it's not say that they aren't getting better, but, to see that shift on a lot of these, leftists on the positions that they are good on, they won't even universalize, their positions and stuff like that. And often some of the solutions that they propose will make the situation worse. They have no issue. Even if they recognize an issue as an issue, it's for the wrong reasons. Yeah. And it's always like, I see that this is a problem, but the solution is we need to steal from people a little more. We need to redistribute this money, or we need to give the government more power over.
You are absolutely right.
Stuff. It's like, so they identify the problem.
But you know what? That's a great point. It's a great point. And here's an example of literally exactly what you're talking about, and where you say they identify the right problem, but for the wrong reasons. And I remember having this issue with policing in general in New York a couple years ago was like very highly debated. But we had that stop and frisk thing, and the constitutionality of stop and frisk was challenged. And then there were these cops who got killed. We had a shutdown at one point where they stopped over policing for like a few weeks. And the one thing I remember this sticking with me is I was very against stop and frisk, and still am, because like as a libertarian and a decent human, I think it's a horrific violation of natural rights to say that people can just be openly harassed and detained for no reason is, anyway, I just think horrible and very ineffective and problematic in other ways. So I was always against that, and you would see every time the left would complain about it, it seemed that their only complaint was that it's racist. They'd be like, it disproportionately happens to minorities. And my thing was kind of like, well, if it's not a violation of individual freedom, then who cares if it disproportionately happens to minorities? And if it is, again, who cares? It shouldn't happen to anybody. Like, it doesn't matter really. But they would only be at it for that reason. And then I'll tell you, a lot of people on the left, when they had this thing where the police were slowing down for a few weeks, they started getting upset that their programs weren't being funded. And they were coming in conflict with this, policing for profit stuff, where they realized that a lot of these programs that you feel so good about are funded by going out and just raping the people who you claim to want to help. And when they're confronted with that, they kind of go, yeah, but we need that money.